You know that feeling, right? When you get amazing customer service, we all know what it feels like, but what's actually going on behind the scenes? Is it about a company meeting our expectations, or is it something else entirely? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into some fascinating research on the science of service quality to get some real answers.
So what's it all about, really? When you walk away from an interaction feeling fantastic, what was the key ingredient? Was it that the service was exactly what you predicted it would be? Or was it that the service itself was just flat out awesome, no matter what you were expecting?
Okay, so you've got two big camps here. On one side, you have this idea that quality is all about closing the gap between what a customer expects and what they actually get. Simple enough. But on the other side, there's a much simpler view. Forget expectations. Quality is just about how good the performance was. Period. For years, this has been a huge debate among researchers.
All right, so let's jump right into that first big debate. Is the secret to success all about carefully managing customer expectations, or should you just focus on pure, raw performance?
So you know academics love their acronyms, right? And these ideas have names. The GAP model is called ServQual. It's literally a formula. Service quality equals performance minus expectations. If you end up with a negative number, well, that's poor quality. The other model is called ServPerf, or the performance-only model. It basically says, let's just forget about that whole expectations part. It's way more direct. Just measure how good the customer thinks the performance was.
Okay, but here's the million-dollar question. Which one of these actually works in the real world? When you put them to the test, which model does a better job of predicting how a customer is actually going to feel about the service they got?
And wow, the data could not be clearer. This table shows something called the R-squared value. All that means is how much of the story does the model tell? How well does it predict customer feelings? And as you can see, the performance-only model, ServPerf, consistently tells way more of the story. We're talking 51 to 65% predictive power, which blows the GAP model out of the water.
So the verdict is in, and it's a landslide. Focusing on managing expectations, it just isn't the key. What really, truly moves the needle for customers is just delivering an excellent performance. And here's the best part. Focusing on performance only is also way more efficient. It literally cuts the number of questions you have to ask your customers in half. It's better and it's easier.
Okay, so we've settled that. Performance is king. But that just leads us to another classic chicken and egg problem. What's the relationship between service quality and customer satisfaction? I mean, which one comes first? Does great quality make a customer satisfied, or does being satisfied make a customer think the quality was great?
So, here's possibility A, and this one feels pretty natural, right? A business delivers top-notch service. Because that service was so good, the customer feels satisfied. And because they're satisfied, they plan on coming back. It's a clean line. Quality causes satisfaction, which then causes loyalty.
But hang on, what if we have it all backwards? Maybe satisfaction is the starting point. You know, maybe a customer is satisfied for totally different reasons. The price was right, the location was perfect, and because they feel satisfied, they kind of rationalize it afterwards by saying, you know what, the quality must have been great too, which then leads them to come back. So which one is it?
The researchers themselves dropped a huge hint, and it's based on just pure, simple logic. Check out this quote. It basically says you have to perceive something. You have to interpret it and understand it before you can have an emotional reaction to it, like being satisfied. You have to see the thing before you can feel good about the thing. Perception just has to come first.
And yep, the data backs this up completely. When they crunched the numbers, the path that made sense was quality first, then satisfaction, then loyalty. That word antecedent just means it's the thing that has to come first. So the big takeaway here is focus on building amazing quality service. That's the engine. Satisfaction and loyalty are the results that follow.
All right, so for our final piece of the puzzle, we know performance is what matters. But which part of performance is the most important? To figure this out, the study looked at two totally different kinds of service businesses.
So imagine this. They basically split the service world in two. On one side, you have businesses where the stuff is the star of the show. Think of a theme park. It's all about the rides. Or an automated car wash. It's about the machines. Then on the other side, you have people-based services, like a consulting firm or a fitness class. The real value there comes from the person you're interacting with.
And the results? Whoa, they're pretty stark. For a facility-based business like a theme park, they looked at two things. Tangibles, basically the quality of the physical stuff, and responsiveness, which is how helpful the employees are. And look at that chart. The impact of the tangibles was statistically massive. Employee responsiveness, it barely made a blip. In these businesses, the environment is the experience.
But now get this. We flip over to the people-based businesses, the consulting firm, the fitness class, and the whole script just reverses. Here, the physical environment, the tangibles, barely mattered at all. Instead, it was all about employee responsiveness. That was the critical factor driving how people felt about the quality. It just goes to show you where you put your money has to match the kind of business you're in.
Okay, so what do we do with all this? After digging through all that incredible research, what does it actually mean for you? Well, we can boil it all down to a super simple 3-part playbook.
All right, here it is. Your 3 golden rules for service quality. Number 1, measure what matters. Stop obsessing over the fuzzy gap between performance and expectations. Focus your energy and your surveys on actual, real-world performance. Number 2, quality drives satisfaction. Don't chase satisfaction as a goal. Build a high-quality experience, and satisfaction will follow naturally. And number 3, know your type. If your business is all about the physical assets, you better invest in them. If your business is all about your people, then you need to invest in training and empowering them to be amazing.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. This research gives us a clear map for understanding what your customers actually see as quality. So the only question left is, are you using that map? Are you focusing on what truly makes a difference? Thanks for joining me.